All right, hey y'all. So I was looking in the Mountain Party Facebook group, and I found this news article that Lissa Lucas posted in there. And if you remember Lissa Lucas, she was the one that got thrown out of the West Virginia legislature. She was on Jimmy Dore's show, but she's so smart and she keeps up with all this stuff, especially um, like the land and what's it called, uh, with the fracking and things like that. But she posted this article. Let me find it. I thought I'd just share it with you real quick because this is a system that they have done over and over and over and over and over again to us, which is they want to take the resources and not pay people here for the resources that they're taking. Now, EQT, which is one of these, let me find that article. Okay, it says West Virginia's, nope, that's not it. Give me a sec. All right. EQT lawsuit would upend long-standing natural gas leasing reforms. So it starts out, it's talking about this woman, Lisa Stemel, gets upset every time EQT Corporation's check arrives in the mail. The energy giant extracts natural gas from beneath the Stemmel family's old farm in Doddridge County, West Virginia, under the terms of a lease signed when Teddy Roosevelt was president. Now, the royalty checks Stemmel receives from two Bates wells named for her great-great-grandfather, Andrew Jackson Bates, amount to just $9 and $3 each quarter. The lease Bates signed more than a century ago with Carnegie Natural Gas Company of Pittsburgh allowed legendary industrialist Andrew Carnegie's company to drill for, produce, and sell as much natural gas as Carnegie wanted. In exchange, Bates got a flat fee of $300 per year, $300 a year per well. Because of that deal, Stemmel and the many other Bates descendants who have since inherited the gas and that 112-year-old lease have received tens of thousands of dollars less than what they would have if the contract were negotiated today. So they've paid pennies compared to what they are making, Stemmel said. It's ridiculous. It's not clear how many West Virginians are stuck with the old leases that pay residents a fraction of what they might otherwise get. Observers guess it's in the thousands, but what is clear is that thousands more could find themselves getting far less in royalties if at least one major gas company gets its way. That's because of a recent lawsuit filed by EQT, the state's second largest gas producer, that threatens to put former people in Linda Stemmel's situation, stuck with tiny monthly payments at a time when the natural gas industry is booming. What we got here? Oh, we got Chris, we got Jeremy. Hey. Yeah, Chris, we're supposed to just take our scraps and just be thankful. Be thankful for our $9. It's ridiculous. So let me finish this up because I'm supposed to be going to work here, and I need to put my clothes in the dryer, and I'm putting it off. But I can't be late. All right, so let's get through this. Okay, the lawsuit filed in April challenges a 1982 law that aimed to give gas owners a bigger share of the profits. The law applied to situations where the gas lease was an old flat fee arrangement and the well was drilled after the law took effect. In order to get a state permit for such wells, gas companies would have to pay the gas owners at least 12.5% of the revenue from the gas. EQT lawyers argue that the company invested time and money on the leases, betting financially that eventually more modern drilling techniques would fuel skyrocketing production in West Virginia's Marcellus shale gas fields. It was entirely foreseeable that over time and with investment, mineral extraction technology and related infrastructure would continue to improve, new technologies would develop, and the market for natural gas would grow, the company maintained in its lawsuit filed in the U.S. District Court in Clarksburg. EQT wants a federal judge to throw out the entire 1982 statute. The company declined to comment on the lawsuit beyond its court filings. Of course, they don't want to talk about it. Of course, they don't want to. Why would they waste time talking to the peons that they're stealing from? A victory for the company could shift millions of dollars in gas royalties from West Virginia residents and businesses to out-of-state gas producers like EQT, a politically connected company with a board member, Bray Carey, who is a top advisor to Jim Justice. Now, who would have thought the carpetbagger Jim Justice would have somebody from EQT as a board member? It's the wealthy are such an incestuous group. It's sickening. So far, the Justice Administration is fighting the EQT lawsuit. Lawyers for the state have asked for it to be dismissed, citing the state's interest in preventing the gas industry from continuing to capitalize on older flat-rate leases that provide unforeseen windfall profits in the modern natural gas market. So the richer they get, the greedier they get. I mean, they have never made as much money as they're making now, and yet it's not enough. And that's why I keep saying, whatever we give these people, we cannot make any more concessions, because no matter what we give these people, it will never be enough for them. It will not be enough until they have it all and we are dead. That's the only time they will stop. And then they'll begin to eat each other. So, Tom Huber, president of the West Virginia Royalty Owners Association, said the company's lawsuit shows that EQT's greed knows no limits. Yeah, they are determined to suck every bit of gas they can out of our state and pay us next to nothing for it, Huber said. EQT wants us to starve so that they can please their Wall Street investors. Linda Stimmels, I hope I'm saying her name right. Natural gas story starts on September 17, 1906, when her grandfather signed a lease that gave the rights to oil and gas under a 150-acre tract of land in Doddridge County to Carnegie Natural Gas. The company drilled 2 wells there shortly afterward. A century later, both are still producing, even if it's just a trickle of gas in today's market. Equitable Resources, EQT's former name, took the wells over in 1999 when it acquired Carnegie Natural Gas. The lease lasts forever, or at least as long as the wells are active. Stimmel inherited part of the gas rights from... Wait, is this like a repeat? I feel like I just read this. I totally just read this. Why am I... Oh, my bad. Ignore that. I accidentally scrolled up. All right. Let's just get back on track here. How did that happen? All right. Bear with me. See, if things went smoothly, it wouldn't be my show. All right. During previous EQT argues, blah, blah, blah. Almost there. Okay, so I'm going to jump back into the live chat and just see. Yeah, it's Justice Institution. What did you say? Why can't we as citizens file a collective lawsuit against Justice for conspiring against the well-being of the public? Yeah, I wouldn't know. Hey, Chad. Hey, Ron. Tango ate me, baby. Hello. All right, so I think I found my place again. So we'll get back to it. I feel like I'm looking at a different. I swear to God, I cannot find where I left off at. No, I was just talking about Jim Justice. There it is. There we are. Oh my God, this article's forever long. Okay, but it's complex, and this is the thing, and this is how they get by with it, because these are really complex issues, and it does take a lot of time and energy to figure all this stuff out, and they wrap it all up in their legalese, and people don't understand what is exactly what they're signing up for or what's happening. And even if they do, they just change it. It's ridiculous. Now, I was talking about Jim Justice. Oh my God. Wait, am I looking at the same article? Okay, there we are. Okay. Thank God. All right. They are determined to suck every bit of gas they can of our state and pay us next to nothing for it, Huber said. Linda Stemmel's natural gas story starts. I just read this. Why is this happening? Okay, I'm going to figure out what is going on with this article, because it's actually it's not me. I'm not crazy. It actually restarted. Okay, I'm not crazy. EQT, 1982 statute. All right, so far the Justice Administration. We read that. All right. So we all know about Linda Stemmel's 150 tract. Okay. Inherited part of the gas rights from Bates, her great grandfather on her father's side, but she's not sure exactly what her share is or how many of her distant relatives, all descendants of Bates, are co owners. Situations like Stemmel's aren't that unusual in West Virginia. Land ownership is often complex and confusing. Someone might own the surface land while someone else owns the coal, oil, or gas underneath. Tracts such as natural gas reserves become divided among multiple owners as land and mineral rights are passed down across generations. In Stemmel's case, Bates split his gas and other holdings among his 5 children. They split what they inherited among their children and so on. After a couple of generations, what began as a 1/2 ownership turns into 1/20th share. Stemmel didn't pay attention to any of this until 1996, when her father died and she inherited part of the Bates mineral holding. Her dad, George B. Swiger, worked more than 40 years for Hope Gas as a maintenance man who helped residential customers with gas connections for their stoves, furnaces, and hot water tanks. My father retired from Hope Gas, and he always told me, don't trust the gas companies. Stemmel said, I thought nothing about any of this stuff until he passed away. Stemmel soon learned her checks certainly weren't making her rich, but her life seemed to become consumed by skirmishes with various gas companies. Some West Virginians have gotten wealthy from the natural gas boom, the mineral rights under an old family farm turning them into Marcellus millionaires. But Stemmel's experience is just as common, and it reflects what some state residents who own land or minerals in the state's gas-producing region go through. One company quibbled with her over the specific location for a gas line she requested to a cabin she kept on an old family property when she moved to Morgantown. Another wanted to wrestle with her over a right-of-way to build its new gas transmission pipeline. There were periodic requests to amend her family's leases to allow the gas company to reach more reserves. The industry says that there are efforts to modernize leases, but those kinds of requests seldom include an offer to increase royalty payments to a more modern rate. Stemmel's mail became an endless string of paperwork, much of it impossible to really understand. See? Same old tricks. And one thing is certain, as long as EQT holds her lease and keeps producing even a little gas from it, she can't work out a deal for some other company to drill a different well into a different gas formation, perhaps the Marcellus, and pay her larger royalties. It's a common problem for some West Virginians in gas counties. Wells are held by production, allowing companies to avoid having to pay the costs to shut down and plug an old well, or just to stave off competition from some other company. There was once hope for Stimmel during a mid-2000 lawsuit over the natural gas royalties. Flat rate leases are void and unenforceable, Roane County Circuit Judge Thomas C. Evans III had ruled. You know you got money when you got the third on your name. If you're poor, you're just junior, and that's about as far as it gets. Like, that's the rich people stuff. The third had ruled, citing the legislative findings from the 1982 law. To enforce such a contract term under these circumstances would require this court to perpetuate oppression and injustice in violation of the clear public policy of this state. Evans ruled in August 2006, but Evans didn't offer gas owners like Stimmel any relief. No court order or statewide injunction. West Virginia lawmakers hadn't provided any remedy either. Lawmakers in 1982 applied the law only to future gas wells, those that needed new permits from the state. They were trying to stay within the Contracts Clause of the U.S. Constitution, which prohibits public officials from interfering with private contracts unless there is a compelling public interest. See, I'm just trying to read the news article and this is confusing. Are y'all following this? Because I'm really having trouble following this. Yeah, let's go back over here. Yeah, locking people up in legal costs. That's right, Ron. I just don't get this. Like, I mean, I get the general premise of it, which is, I mean, they're just trying to short people money that they should be paying. The little money that they're already paying for it, you know, they already get it for dirt cheap, and then they want to steal on top of it. Now, the reason I wanted to get into this is not only is that Bray Carey, an advisor to Jim Justice or whatever he is on this board or whatever, but you know, with the whole Supreme Court. And what did I say? Okay, now look, I know I haven't been able to follow this Supreme Court stuff very closely, but anytime that this comes out, first of all, they're getting called out for corruption or whatever, not corruption, but spending all this money on their furniture and stuff like that. I'm like, why is this a news article? Why is the media, like, why is this a thing? I mean, people, this is common. So why is this a special case that all of a sudden, like, we're going to do something about this? So now they're impeaching all these, you know, people in the Supreme Court or whatever. And to me, it seemed like it's a new game plan. Okay, these people were in the, you know, in a pocket of one, you know, wealthy person or group, and that's the function that they served. That now they're planning something, they're going to do something, so they're already stacking the deck, so that way they can do whatever it is that they're going to do, and they're stacking their deck now. And Lissa Lucas said that, hold on, let me look it up, because she said something about this. She said, as a note to those outside West Virginia, our governor has been accused of improperly packing the West Virginia Supreme Court. Why is that important? Because that stacked bench will potentially be adjudicating this case that would yet again transfer the wealth of West Virginians to out-of-state execs and shareholders. It's, I mean, this is what is colonization. What is it? You go in, you destroy the people, you steal their resources, get rich, profit. And we do this over and over and over and over again. the coal industry, the gas industry. You know, we do it to other countries, we do it to other people, we do it here, and we make it sound a little bit prettier because, you know, we're doing it to you know, a bunch of white people in the middle of the United States of America, but it's the same premise, it's the same tactics. You know, drive the people out. You know, out of all the states, West Virginia is the only one that hasn't gained a population. Everybody, all the other states have seen increases in their population. We are the only state that has had a decrease in our population. And that's, I'm guessing, because people are leaving because there's no opportunities. And also, maybe it's because of our sky high, you know, cancer rates that we're just dropping like flies. So, I'm not going to be able to finish the article, not that I would even be able to decipher anyway, because this is getting really complex, but there really isn't that much left to it. So I'm going to try, maybe by the end of it, we can make, I can't even make sense of the news article, let alone the actual, you know, and my grandma used to get a check from a gas company, and it was like $3.50 a month. And whenever I asked her about it, she was like, "Oh, it's just something that they, you know, for some little piece of property that, I mean, that she used to own or she sold to them. It was like $3." Yeah. And I don't even know what happened to that. Who knows? They probably just sent her some paperwork to the wrong address and then said, "Well, you didn't get back to us. It's ours now." You know, like something shady like that. Mammoth, Mammoth Wrangler. You only have to hold like 4 passes in West Virginia to seal all the state. Do that. I mean, the time for the. I feel you. Like, we need to be in the streets for sure. We need to be raising some cane. I'm not talking, you know, guillotines or burning stuff down, but we need to make our presence known. Leave the state in decay. Rob, Illinois, see, now you're getting neoliberal economics. I know it's a bit bumpy for you, but the problem is that you haven't fully embraced neoliberalism. Trust it will be for you. Yeah. Don't think, just trust. Oh my God, stop with the pop ups. Part of the issue, too, is West Virginia doesn't have a lot of arable land. It was basically founded to hold part of the Appalachian Mountains from invasion from the Indiana region tribes. The state lines were drawn far too small, and most of what is Kentucky should have been claimed at the same time. I have to look more into this. Y'all are bringing more. Like, I love this. This is why I missed all my live streams, is because we'd have these back and forth, and I am not that smart. Like, I learn a lot from the people that watch as well. So I love it. It's like a give and take kind of thing. Rob said he doesn't trust Ojeda. Something's just not right with the dude. Yeah. I'm suspicious of all politicians. And you know, so far I like what he's saying. I like the stuff he's doing. I mean, heck, he's backed everything up that he said with some action here. But you know, as far as politicians go, I don't trust any of them. So, well, I support what he's doing. You know, the second that he gives me reason not to, you know, back him, I'm not tied to anybody or any party or anything like that. Yeah, and Chuck E. Cheese said Ojeda is a great candidate. He will bring in potential enthusiasm from the South, and he will sweep the primaries. Now, see, that's the thing that I was going to say is, and I forgot. So yes, because I forgot to say it in the last video, but I really think that that is one of his strong suits. Now that he voted for Trump, because what half the population that voted for Trump, right? So it gives them, for him it was like, look, I did things your way. I went, I tried things your way, so, and it didn't work, and so let's try things a different way. Because I think while he should talk to his constituents, which he does honestly and truthfully about the situation, about whatever the situation is, he also needs to listen at the same time. And how many times have we gotten on to politicians for not voting the way that their constituents wanted them to vote? Now, I understand that voting for Trump, I couldn't do it. But at the same time, he did listen to his constituents. And he's saying now, like, I did. I tried to back you. I tried to do but you're not holding up your end of the bargain. So, and I think that would give a lot of people, especially Trump voters, people in the South, what have you, it gives them a little bit of leeway to, backtrack. Like, well, that's right. He didn't do what he said. And it doesn't seem as like, haha, see, you messed up. You voted wrong. Because so many times people just don't want to admit they're wrong. And they'll just double down. So maybe, lead by example. I hope I made that clear. I don't feel like I just kind of rambled about that. West Virginia is the smallest landlocked state. You can't be tiny like Rhode Island or Connecticut when you're on the ocean, but I can automatically landlocked success comes from size. What, Lisa? Hey! I didn't even see you. Lisa, hey! What did I just click on? Crap. Okay. Lisa, I really don't want to be down here, but I'm going to have to remind people that interstate crosscheck has still not been challenged. People are stealing primaries and generals. How can anybody be voted in or out? Yeah, I'm with you, Lisa. I'm not going to give up on the process, but I do seriously believe that it's not, when you look at all the election tampering, rigging, ballot throwing out, what's that called when they weight the votes? Yeah. So if they don't want somebody to win, they will make sure, even if they have to do that. Now, if we have larger turnouts, like overwhelming amount of people voted, would they be able to do it? Maybe. I mean, look at what they did to Bernie. But I think that we shouldn't give up, because I do what's right because it's right. They can do what they want. Now, am I going to, there is something that we need to do, because it's the foundation of our democracy. And if our foundation is rotten, we can't build anything on top of it. So we have to find a way. And I'm getting more and more into this, about looking into how do you change that. And the only thing I know is just to actually, I don't know, just take to the streets. Just basically, maybe, I mean, that sounds so like vague. I don't know. I really don't know. But I'm not giving up. Where there's a will, there's a way. And my clothes are still wet, and I have to leave in 15 minutes. All right, I gotta go, y'all. I really do. I'm going to try to get back on here if my corporate overlords will let me leave work at a decent hour tonight. I'll try to do another live stream tonight, because I love this. I miss talking to y'all. This is great. I've got internet again. I've got all this bottled up in here, and It's spewing out, and this is awesome. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Jeremy said, can we just start robbing banks already? I love that meme. It was, in communist Russia, but in capitalist America, banks rob you. Evan started streaming Scott Perseus Gold, who is a French-Canadian neo-Nazi separatist who's been arrested for gun violence a few times on stream. What? Are you sure about that, Chucky? I've talked to Perseus before. I don't know. Are you sure about that? Wow. I really hope that's some misinformation there. Because when I talked to him, he didn't seem like that. Anyway, yes, gotta get my clothes done. Gosh. Pizzas aren't gonna make themselves, y'all. All right, love you. Thanks for listening. I will talk to you later.